Moving to Poland with kids, how's it going to affect them?
Will they adapt?
How's it going to affect you?
What if they don't speak Polish?
Here's
How
the
is
thing.
the school going to be? Will they settle in?
Questions. How can you prepare?
We did not.
I've got to be honest with you, we didn't give it a lot of thought, did we?
Nope.
And we went to Poland, I wouldn't say selfishly, because we didn't think of our kids, but we didn't think of the challenges until we really got here. We kind of got caught up in the romantic side of, we're going to go abroad.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Poland's the future. It's a booming economy. There's lots of opportunity. We're going to do really,
Free
really well.
babysitting.
And it just hit us like a hammer when the kids had to go to school. Mm-hmm. Now, to give you a little bit of context, we've got 4 kids. And this is something you're going to have to think about deeply if you're thinking of moving abroad. 1, what happens if some of the kids don't want to come with you? How do you cope with that? How are they going to cope when they're left behind? And 2, what happens to the kids when they do come with you and they don't speak the language? How are they going to fit in, especially younger kids who are going to school? It's tricky, isn't it?
And also, what do you do when the kids are crying and begging you to go back to England?
It pulls on your heartstrings. It's really emotional, and you're going to go through some really, really tough times. And we've just gone through this, so it's very raw for us. It's very real for us, and we want to talk about it because I think I would like people who are thinking to come to Poland or any other country for that matter, where you don't speak the language or your kids don't speak the language, to really think deeply before you come. And I'm not saying don't come, I'm not saying don't make that move, but really think long and hard about your children. And I wish in some ways we'd thought a little bit more about it. I wish
agree.
we had prepared them a little bit more. I mean, Aga being a Polish-speaking mother, we could have put a little bit more time and effort into teaching them some basic Polish before we come. And we get a lot of criticism for not doing that. And I'll explain why we didn't do that as well, so you understand where we're coming from. We put a lot of emphasis on our kids being happy, being grounded, well developed individuals, having fun, but also being prepared for the future in business and investing in how they or want to live their life. So that is a lot of our education, and we feel the school will educate them on the academic side of things. So we teach them the real life stuff, school teaches them the academics. So we never put a lot of emphasis or any emphasis really on the language or anything like that. That was the school's job. And we never felt like we would move to Poland until we moved to Poland. So it wasn't really a language it wasn't important to us, was it? We was loving watching them grow, develop as human beings. Language, didn't even give it a second thought really. And we kind of thought, okay, when we come to Poland, or when we decided we was going to come to Poland, because they are so young, they're sponges. They're going to pick it up quickly. And they do. And, that's a massive plus. They do. Young kids pick up languages very, very quickly. But where the heartache comes in is they don't understand they're going to pick it up very quickly. They don't go into school thinking, you know what, it's going to be okay. Give it a few weeks and I'll be able to understand what teacher's saying. I'll be able to understand what the other kids are saying. They walk into a classroom full of kids who are looking at them as the stranger,
Outsiders.
the outsider, the kid who doesn't even speak properly, and they've got to go in there and work out what's going on. And you're not there to help them. And you will sit indoors and you will be so worried about them.
Mm-hmm. You will feel sick.
You will.
Like physically sick.
It's awful. When we was in England and we put our kids into school, they was so popular. They were so well loved. The teachers loved them. The kids loved them. The parents loved them. They was like little superstars in that school, wasn't they? And they got good characters, our kids. And this is testament to us as parents because we bring that out, and testament to them as well. And everything was kind of easy for them. They knew the language, they knew the friends, they knew the teachers, they knew the layout, everything. So they would hop and skip into school. Happy days. We never worried about them, did
No.
we? You have that first day, you know, jittery feeling
They
when they
just
go
couldn't
there.
wait to get to school.
They
Even on
couldn't.
the first day, Lucy would, our 5-year-old, she would get her bag ready, the clothes ready, the uniform. She would be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she would be skipping to get to school, like literally skipping.
She would. And it just made you feel really warm and fuzzy as a parent to drop them off and pick them up and see the love they got. And then you take them out of that environment, you put them into a country they don't know, the language they don't know, a school they don't know. None of the teachers are known to them. None of the kids are known to them. And they're young, they're 3 and 5.
Petrifying.
And you have to coax them in and close the door.
When
And
they
you
scream.
see their face and the tears. It's really horrible. And we had to give ourselves a talking to, didn't we? Because we had to say to ourselves, they will get over it. They'll be better for it. When they overcome this challenge, they're going to be stronger. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, what if they don't? What if it's always going to be like this? What have we done? Are we bad parents? Is this the right thing to do? Was it selfish? Should we pull them out? Should we take them to school? All of these thoughts just floods your mind, and you can't relax. You just can't.
I think the mistake we made was making the assumption that the older girl, the 5-year-old girl, is going to struggle a lot more than the 3-year-old boy, because he was full of life, full of confidence, talking to anybody on the street about the aeroplanes, about everything, and that enthusiasm for life, it was just killed within the first week of that school.
Yeah, Luke, our youngest, he's very much into his aeroplanes. He loves aeroplanes. And in the town we was in, he would walk down the road and he's very sociable and he'll say hello to everybody and he'll talk about aeroplanes. He's always got an aeroplane in his hand. Someone's walking past in England, hello, look at my aeroplane. And he strikes up conversations, and he was really well known as this lovely, friendly little boy who talks about aeroplanes. And we'd walk down the street and people would be waving at him, Luke, you got your aeroplane? Yeah, I got my aeroplane. When we was in England, that was great. When we come to Poland, it was knocked out of him. He was like, none of these people understand me, so why bother? You know, and that you could see him being more and more withdrawn, his personality changing, because he's thinking, I want to talk about my aeroplanes. I want to be excited about these aeroplanes. No one gets what I'm saying. And
like in his class, the children were really young, and it was heartbreaking when he would come home. And he said that nobody wanted to sit at the table with him and have lunch, and he had to sit all by himself. And we know Luke as somebody who's right in the middle of the conversations, in the middle of the fun and stuff that children are doing. And then there was the talks that there was this little boy who was spitting on him and pushing him and stuff. It was awful.
It's not nice.
No.
It's really not nice. You know, and we did think Luke would integrate really quickly because he's so young. You know, they just play with cars and they just make up games, and some of the kids don't even really speak that well anyway. He'll find it easy. We thought Lucy would really struggle. She's just a little bit older. She has really great conversations, and she's going to really struggle with the language. As it happened, it was complete opposite. Lucy, I wouldn't say it was easy for her, but she picked up the language very quickly. She integrated very quickly. She didn't seem as affected by the change as Luke, who kind of got very in his own little shell. And you know, when the kids are coming home and they're saying, you know, so-and-so spat at me, so-and-so pushed me, they don't want to talk to me, I sit on my own for lunch, you want to cry. You really want to cry. You question everything you've done as a parent. And no one goes abroad, I say no one, but we generally go abroad for a better life. Yeah, we want to leave a country because we see opportunity, we see a way of living, you know, that's a better way of life. And when you go there and you have all these dreams and all this enthusiasm, excitement, and your kid comes home and says they've been spat at and pushed because they don't speak the language, you feel so helpless. You really do. You feel so isolated, really helpless, and it affects you. It affects your mental health. It gets you down, doesn't it? We want our kids to have a better life as well. It's not just about us. We want them to have a better life. We want them to, you know, enjoy Poland. We want them to experience new things and be accepted. And those early days are really, really tough. But there is a positive. If you keep trying, you keep encouraging, you keep reassuring, you keep talking to them, and you keep trying to help them, just slowly by slowly, they start to pick things up, don't they?
I mean, it lasted about 2 weeks for them to settle in. And I'll tell you the trick that we did that worked perfectly, because we had 2 weeks of nightmares, screaming, crying, like a proper tears. Mommy, I miss you. Don't leave me here. I don't want to go. I don't want to be here. Like really getting into your mind, into your heart, all the possible things that you can imagine. But we made a deal with them on week 3 that if they go into school with the attitude of making the most of it, they try to play with other children, they don't cry, we're going to collect them early. Remember?
Yeah. And they was very motivated by that. And we stuck to our word. You know, we went to collect them early, and we gave them good feedback from their teachers. We told them how well their teachers was thinking they was doing, and how their teachers was saying they're trying to interact and everything. And we kind of said, okay, you keep this up, guys. We will always pick you up an hour early. And slowly by slowly,
they started asking us to come later.
It was just like a magic wand. And all of a sudden, Lucy was like, this is the older one, the 5-year-old. Daddy, Mummy, could you pick us up a little bit later today? Because she's very smart, Lucy. She's very switched on. And she'd noticed that around 3:30, they have a playtime, and they go into when the weather was good, they went into the playground, played on the swings, or when the weather's not so bad, they go downstairs into the hallway and they play there. When we was picking up at 3, she was missing that playtime. So she's like, can you pick us up a little bit later? Because she wanted to play with the other kids.
But she was also playing with Luke in the same, they put them in the same class.
Yeah, and this is the other thing I was going to come on to. You stole my thunder. She realised that Luke was coming into this play area as well, and she could see him, and he could see her, and they could play together. And it was just lovely. They then wanted to be there longer. And that was just like
good for us.
Whole weight off your shoulders. It just such a difference. I mean, that moment when she said, can you come and pick us up later? I think I just felt like a million times lighter.
It made life so much easier, because when we dropped them off, when they were really in tears and crying, I could not concentrate until I went to pick them up. I was thinking constantly, are they crying? Are they being treated nicely? And the school that they go into, it's a lovely school, honestly. It's a private nursery. And they're just wonderful. The staff are really nice, the children are really nice, the parents are really lovely. We could not pick the better place for them to be.
Very, very grateful for the school, and very grateful for how they've made us feel welcome, and how they made Luke and Lucy feel welcome, and everything they've done. They've gone that extra step. They recognise that I'll tell you another thing, it's just come to my head. Luke and Lucy are superstars at the English class. They have an English teacher come in. And this was another thing as well, that actually give them a step up, wasn't it? The English teacher come in, and the Polish kids, their English is, at that level of basicness, because they're not used to it. Basicness, is that an English word? I don't know. Don't judge me. But Luke and Lucy speak really good English, and they're really good communicators, because we put a lot of emphasis on them being good communicators, for our education. So them to go in to an English class, which is way below where they are, they was top of the class straight away.
I think the teachers found them a bit annoying, because they ended up teaching all the other children, and they knew all the answers before the kids were even asked to answer them.
But Polish people are very smart, and Polish parents are very smart, and Polish parents cottoned on to their kids. If you get in with Luke and Lucy, your English is going to improve, because they're English. So Luke and Lucy all of a sudden started to become really popular, because they can speak really good English. They know all the answers. They can teach the other kids. They can help the other kids. And the parents are pushing them, talk to Luke and Lucy, talk to Luke and Lucy. They speak English. So their status come up. And for us to witness that, it was just wonderful. It was just absolutely wonderful. And the weight just coming off your shoulders, just, you can relax a little bit, because we was sitting here during the day. I wonder how they are. I wonder if they're okay.
Shall we call the school?
Yeah,
shall we just quickly go and see?
Yeah. We do the school runs together, and we would close the doors. Luke goes in this classroom, Lucy goes in this classroom. We close the doors, and we'd walk down the stairs feeling sick. We'd look at each other, wouldn't we? And I knew she was feeling sick. She knew I was feeling sick without us saying anything. And we would have a little bit of silence going down the stairs. We get in the car, and are they going to be all right? Yeah, they're going to be all right. But you're thinking, I hope they're going to be all right, because you're not sure. And you try to lift yourself up. You try to get a bit of energy in your body and do things, but it's constant in your mind. So what can you do to prepare yourself? I think just by understanding the change you're going to go through is going to hopefully be a help for you, because you're going to know what they're feeling before they're even feeling it. You're going to know what to expect before it even happens. But would you recommend that people, if they can, teach a little bit of the language before they move abroad?
Absolutely. I mean, we, like you said about us being, I don't think it's lazy, because I personally think it's a lot easier to speak Polish to the children when everybody speaks the same language. It was lazy from my side, but we wanted them to speak a really good English as well as Polish. We just did not prioritize it enough. And if they spoke Polish when we got in here, it would be so much easier for them. But then maybe it would take away that element of them being so different and being so cool. And when we were talking about the difference between one and the other, how they settled in, it came to my mind that I think the reason why Lucy settled in so much quicker is because the English way of teaching is very different to Polish. I think it's a lot more advanced. So academically,
No,
in England. In England, in English. I said an English way of teaching.
Okay, big
So Lucy, when she went into the class that she's in, she already knows how to read. She already knows how to write. She already knows the phonics. She already knows the numbers up to whatsoever. She knows how to add and stuff. And when the year started in here, the teachers were really excited and said, we're just introducing the children to phonics. And Lucy likes to be ahead of everybody else, but she also loves to teach. And she found her fit in the class by teaching her friends how to speak English. So she was teaching them the colors, she was teaching them the numbers, she was teaching them the simple phrases, let's draw a picture and stuff. And they were all really into her. I mean, it got to the point that we literally walk into Lucy's class and all the children run to her. Hi, Lucy.
They do. They all want to be around her and she found her little niche. She found her little way of feeling important and feeling and being valued. And that's what we all want in life, isn't it, really? We all want to feel important. We all want to feel listened to. And we all want to feel appreciated. And it takes a little bit of time for them to get those feelings, because they are an outsider and they don't understand what's going on, and they feel really lost. So they don't feel listened to because no one can talk the language. They don't feel appreciated because they can't understand what they're being spoken to about. And
they're completely out of their comfort zone,
totally.
Because everything is so different to what they used to.
And they don't feel accepted because the other kids have got their little niches, they've got their cliques, and they speak the language, and your kid doesn't have the friendship groups they had back in the native country, ours was England, and they're just on their own. But nothing is forever. Nothing, just because it starts that way doesn't mean to say it has to finish that way. And if you keep persevering, if you keep supporting, if you keep talking, and you can maybe try and at least teach them the basics before they go in, they will go in on a good footing. And with you there as the parent, cheering them on, supporting them, being a little bit tough as well, putting them in, maybe bribing them a little bit here and there to do certain things because they're going to get a little reward at the end of it, will make them feel good about themselves and make them want to actually try a little bit harder, because it is easy for them to give up. And you don't want them doing that. You don't want them going into their shell and just literally putting themselves away and thinking this isn't worth the effort. You've got to motivate them.
Yeah, my advice would be something that we haven't done. Do your homework before you come to Poland. I mean, we made a huge mistake because my sister-in-law works at school, my cousin's wife works at school. It was hinted to us that they will get the place at school. So we didn't really look that much. And then we were told, we came to Poland in July, 15th of July. We were asked to wait and see if there's space on the list for them to be admitted into the classes where they would know their teachers, which we thought at the time it would be brilliant, isn't it? You've got the family looking after your little kiddos, fantastic. But then at the short space of time, it's coming to the end of August and we're being told that the spaces are not available. They don't have the place at school, and it's like, oh, we gotta start looking. So we went to one place, lovely little place, and it was just wonderful, but they were fully booked. They had the space for one of them, not the other one. We really wanted both of them to be together. The nursery that they go to is one of the most expensive ones in town, but they had the place for both of them. And I believe in the law of attraction. I believe that things happen for a reason, and I think it was meant to be, because Sending them kids to the private nursery was the best thing we've done. The classes are really small. They learn the English. Most of the staff speak Polish and English and stuff. And that's really important. Make sure that their teachers, they can understand at least English, because it must be so hard for them little kiddos to talk to somebody who doesn't understand them. I need to go for a wee-wee. And if somebody is looking at you like, I don't know what you want, you might end up just doing a wee in your pants.
Yeah, we're very lucky. I mean, the English isn't great, but there's some level there, so they can understand some of the basics. And if you tick those boxes, if you do your research, if maybe you get them a place in the school before you come out and you know what to expect, where they're going to go, what the environment's going to be like, and you keep coaxing them, you keep supporting them, you keep encouraging them, they will get through it. They really will, and they'll be better people for it. Luke and Lucy, our kids, have come so far. They've overcome so many challenges, and they've fought every challenge. Lucy will walk around this house singing the Polish national anthem all the time.
Marsz, Dąbrowski.
And she's brilliant. She's got the language, she's got the pronunciation, she knows the words, she knows what the words mean. She's been at school for 2 months.
Yeah, September, October, November.
Yeah, it was middle of November, so 2.5 months, and she's come so far. Luke is, he's catching up. He's a little bit younger. He's doing so well.
He's getting back to being himself. He makes jokes. He does his little dances. He says "Do widzenia."
Yeah, he walks out of the school and the lady on reception, he goes "Do widzenia," and she laughs at him, and he walks out like a little king. It's great. But the final thing I want to talk about just before we go, if you've got children, older children, and they don't want to come with you, how do you cope with that? It's really hard. We've got a daughter who's been educated in Portugal, and we've got a daughter that's been educated in London. They got very good education, and they didn't feel as if they wanted to come to Poland because the education here, they feel as if it was an important time in their life to stay where they are. And we respected that, and we agreed with that, but it's still heartbreaking, isn't it? It's really, really hard. Now, I think you've just got to appreciate, as they get older, they've got their own lives, they've got their own needs, they've got their own wants, they've got their own circle of friends, they've got their ways of doing things. Mum and dad maybe aren't quite as important as they was when they was really young. And if they're happy to stay behind, and they're happy to be educated somewhere else and live a life kind of without you being there, then that's okay. That's okay, as long as you make them aware the door is always open. The door's always open. If things aren't working out where you are, you can come here. Just because you're saying no to us now doesn't mean to say in the future you can't come in, And we're very lucky in this modern world. We've got this kind of communication. We've got voice messages, we've got video calls, text messages. There's many ways to keep in contact, know what's going on, and that makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not easy. And one of the girls who is studying in Portugal, I do beat myself up a little bit because I have not done enough homework. I just took for granted what other people were telling me. At that age, without the language, she's just going to be destroyed in the school. I made an assumption that the only way for her to study in the town where we're at is to do the remote learning. Being a teenager and not having the contact with the peers is not ideal and stuff. I didn't take other options into the account to make it a little bit more encouraging, maybe, to come and be with us. And I do feel guilty about it, that everything was just so impulsive and everything was like, yeah, this is a better choice, your decision, boom.
We don't always get things right as parents.
No.
Sometimes we mess up, sometimes we make mistakes, and it's okay. It is okay. And as long as we talk about them and we keep communicating with each other and we keep supporting each other and we talk to our daughters who are not here and, know what's going on and let them know there is always options, and yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, but you don't have to stay in a mistake. You can change things and there is options. Then you can always put these mistakes right and you can always do something else, and if it isn't working out that, Elizabeth is in Portugal, Annabelle's in London, and they want to come here, then we're here for them. The door is always open. And if you find yourself in our situation, you've made a mistake, the worst thing you can do is let it get to each other. let it get you down so much that you argue with each other, because your younger kids, everyone's going to suffer. No one's going to win. You just got to keep talking. You got to keep communicating. You got to share your problems. You got to share your concerns, because sometimes, I'm not a mind reader. I can't tell what Aga's thinking, and vice versa. I try, but it doesn't work. And you can't with your partner either. Don't presume.
Don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions that they're happy and they're okay. Talk about it.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm a true believer that communication solves every problem. We know it does. But sometimes it's really difficult to talk. When there's anger, when there's negative feelings between us, frustrations, it's not easy to start talking about things.
No, it isn't easy, and this is why you've got to pick your moments, because if you're really tired, if you haven't been sleeping, and you're really down, and you don't feel like talking, it's not the right time to talk, is it? Because we've done this before. We try to talk, and we try to force conversations when we're really low, and it just goes like that. It's not the right time. We had a counsellor many years ago, and he told us to have meetings, didn't he? Request meetings.
Oh yeah, half an hour meetings. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was brilliant. If you're really stressed and you're really strained, just request a meeting with your partner. Say, at this time this evening.
It wasn't quite that. He was saying, when your husband really annoys you next time, just tell him that you want to schedule a 30 minutes meeting in the evening. What time is convenient for you?
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes what that does is it gives the partner time to think.
No, just by you saying yes, you agree to listen to me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To what is
but
in my
I'm
mind.
talking about in between the meetings. It gives you time to think about
But that's after you say yes. If you say no, then I get really angry.
Oh, yeah, you don't say no.
Yeah.
No,
And once you say yes, you kind of agree that you're going to sit down for half an hour and you're going to listen to my moaning and you will not interrupt. You take on board what I say. The rule is you only talk about one issue at the time. You can't bring anything else.
No, that's it, yeah. And you can solve a lot of problems with that. You can overcome a lot of challenges with that.
And the magic in that little silly exercise is that, let's say I've got a problem, something really annoys me. I don't know, maybe the way you sweep the floor or whatever it is. Anyway, I think it's cute. But let's say if it was an issue and you do it again and it really annoys me, I say to you, Lee, can we just schedule half an hour meeting? What time is good for you? You tell me the time, I agree. By you saying, yes, it's fine, I know that you're willing to listen to me. And because I know that he's going to sit down and he's going to listen to me, that big problem, the stupid hoovering or sweeping the floor, becomes really little. So when it comes to the actual meeting, you think, you know what, let's just not talk about it. It was nothing. Because sometimes stupid little things, they just become so big.
They do.
And they just eat you from the inside, don't they?
Do. And on that note, I hope that was useful. I hope that helped you. Don't let us put you off. You can have a wonderful life abroad, but just think about things, plan things, maybe teach your kids the basics, keep encouraging them, keep talking between each other, and give yourself time to breathe, time to have space to let the feelings of negativity die down and speak when it's appropriate, and you can overcome any challenge and have a wonderful, wonderful life here in Poland.